Last week I profited 26.2 units in my Discord, and I'm going to tell you how I use a proprietary tool in Props Madness to find these plays and send them to my Discord. And you can see the slips here on the right. Right, we have a Denny Avita, 11 plus, 12 plus, and 13 plus assist at 482, 800, and 1340. And we have Brandon Williams, 8 assist and 10 assist at 470 and plus 1200. It was a great week in the Discord. I'm going to tell you exactly how we find all that stuff right here. So pulling up here, injuries are a huge part of the NBA betting lifestyle. There's so many injuries every single day, and you can find a lot of value in the lines because those lines are not adjusted for those questionable tags. So if you can get ahead of that questionable tag and understand when someone might sit out and who's going to be the beneficiary, you can really capitalize on this. So again, let's show you what happened last week when we had Shaedon Sharpe listed as out. Let me pull up my screen here. We're going to share this window. All right. So pop it up here. Perfect. All right. So this is the tool that I have been working with a buddy on developing, and essentially it pulls all the injury reports the last couple of years, and it puts together an availability rating based off the injury history of that player, the injury history of the team, and that injury history of that injury. So if, for example, Shaedon Sharpe has a calf injury, how often has he had a calf injury? How long does he sat out from that? And how willing are the Trailblazers to put him in the game or not? And I'll explain why that's important here in a second. So it's pretty easy. You just type in his name here. Shaedon Sharpe has a 33% availability rating based off previous metrics. And again, this is just a prototype, so we're still working on some components here. But you go down here, calf strain reported on 11/20. The league average missed is 3 days, and that's actually expanding this past year. So when you look at that, you have to think, well, there's a good chance he is probably sitting this game with a calf injury. So what does that mean for the Trailblazers? Well, my instant thought is without Shaedon Sharpe, without Jrue Holiday, it's Denny. And so now I'm going to pull up Props Madness, and you can see Denny here. Without Jrue, without Shaedon Sharpe, he produces 19.8 potential assists per game compared to a season average of 12.4. In particular, that game on the 21st, he had 24 potentials and 13 assists. That's just one easy way, right? We identified that Shaedon Sharpe was questionable. We identified that Shaedon Sharpe likely isn't going to play based off of our probability ratings. And then you target the player who's going to benefit the most. Once that news came out that Shaedon Sharpe was out, Denny's line jumped up significantly. So we got a ton of CLV on that as well. And we did something similar last week with Brandon Williams, identifying whether or not D'Angelo Russell was going to play through an illness or whether or not Brandon Williams was going to play through a back contusion. So with that all being said, that is the tool that we are using right now, the injury probability tool that I'll be releasing sometime later this week. And that is how we profited 26.2 units this past week. If you like more data back plays that identify lines before the books have adjusted them, especially for injuries, check out the Discord link in the bio. We have a code NFL for 50% off. Thanks, y'all.